From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 27th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.20 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,257 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,093. Antiwar.com reports a senior official with the U.S. State Department says that they have been warning countries around the world, particularly U.S. allies, to stop all purchases of Iranian oil. They say purchases must end by November, and the U.S. is unlikely to offer any further exemptions to allow any more purchases. The official confirmed, "We are asking them to go to zero." He said China and India, two major customers of Iranian oil, are among those the U.S. has warned. The U.S. withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal last month and intends to again ban oil purchases. Yet the Iran deal itself is still intact without the U.S. China is even a signatory to that deal and almost certainly will not agree to stop buying Iranian oil just because the U.S. tells them they can't. This is doubly true because the remaining signatories are trying to save the deal. Iran has reportedly already met with Chinese customers to ask them to keep buying oil, and while they haven't gotten any guarantees, China appears to have plenty of justification to continue doing so. Iran has also requested EU nations commit to buying oil from them as part of the deal to remain in the nuclear pact. For most nations, this will likely depend chiefly on the economic cost of ending Iran trade compared to what the U.S. might do to them. So long as the nuclear deal remains in place, any U.S. attempt to punish other countries will likely lead to backlash and limit the U.S. ability to isolate anyone. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Supreme Court narrowly ruled Tuesday to uphold President Donald Trump's travel ban on migrants and refugees from several Muslim-majority countries. In a 5-4 decision along partisan lines, the justices reversed a series of lower court decisions that struck down the ban as illegal, giving the White House its first high court victory on the merits of a presidential initiative. Trump tweeted, "Supreme Court upholds Trump travel ban. Wow." Trump also tweeted, "In this era of worldwide terrorism and extremist movements bent on harming innocent civilians, we must properly vet those coming into our country. This ruling is also a moment of profound vindication following months of hysterical commentary from the media and Democratic politicians who refuse to do what it takes to secure our border and our country. More than 150 million people in Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen are affected by the ruling." Chad, also a Muslim-majority nation, was removed from the list in April. North Korea and Venezuela, while part of the executive order, are not part of the legal battle. Chief Justice John Roberts argued that the president has ample power to impose entry restrictions and insists the ban was within the scope of Trump's power. He also rejected claims that it has an anti-Muslim bias. Roberts wrote for the majority, "The text says nothing about religion." Plaintiffs and the dissent nonetheless emphasized that 5 of the 7 nations currently included in the proclamation have Muslim-majority populations, adding, "Yet that fact alone does not support an inference of religious hostility, given that the policy covers just 8% of the world's Muslim population and is limited to countries that were previously designated by Congress or prior administrations as posing national security risks." Roberts was joined in the majority by Justices Anthony Kennedy, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch. Justice Sonia Sotomayor quoted Trump's own words in her dissent, saying his travel ban is merely a version of the Muslim ban he proposed during the campaign. Sotomayor wrote, "The court's decision leaves undisturbed a policy first advertised openly and unequivocally as a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States, because the policy now masquerades behind a facade of national security concerns," adding, "But this repackaging does little to cleanse presidential proclamation of the appearance of discrimination that the president's words have created. A reasonable observer would conclude that the proclamation was motivated by anti-Muslim animus." Joined by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in her dissent, Sotomayor said the panel's conservative justices ignored the facts, misconstrued legal precedent, and turned a blind eye to the pain and suffering that the ruling puts on countless families and individuals, many of whom are United States citizens. Justices Stephen Breyer and Elena Kagan were the court's 2 other dissenters. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.